Hello everyone, welcome to Chapter 2, Lesson 2.3. Today we are talking about converting between fractions and decimals. Please make sure you copy this entire thing. Oops, sorry about that. Please make sure you copy this entire thing down, so please make sure this is your title. Please don't forget to write down your name. Please don't forget to write down the date. Okay? Please also write down the learning target, also write down the success target, and copy all of this down. So let's erase that so you can see it. So again, to make sure you have full notes, you do have to have this copied down. Otherwise, you do not receive points. All of this must be copied down. Next thing that I also want you to copy down are these notes as well, so that we can talk about them. So please make sure you have all of this copied down, and then we will move forward. Okay, so please press pause, copy this down, and then we will move forward. Alright, hopefully you had a chance to copy all of this down. Now let's make sure we can talk a little bit about this. So what exactly are we talking about today? We are talking about converting between fractions and decimals. By the end of today, you should be able to explain the difference between a terminating decimal and a repeating decimal, writing a fraction and a mixed number as a decimal, and then also writing a decimal as a fraction. Okay? So what exactly is a terminating decimal? Well, if you think about the movie Terminator, it ends. Something has to end. So what terminating decimal does, it ends. So for example, this decimal right here, it ended, right? So it was 1.5. That's it. And it stopped. This one is 0.25, and then it stopped. This one's 10.284, and then it stopped. It doesn't go on forever. Whereas a repeating decimal is the opposite of that. It does not stop. It actually goes on forever. A good example of that is this number right here. It goes 1.333333333, and it's going to go on forever. But we don't want to write down 3 100 times. To do that, you're going to put this line on top of it. This means it's going to repeat. This line tells me that it goes 3 on forever, and then it never stops. But what happens if it's not just one number? Excuse me, sorry about that. I yawned. What if it goes 1 5 1 5 1 5 1 5? Well, you don't have to write 1 5 1 5 1 5. You can actually just put this line on top of it, and that line is going to tell you that, oh hey, look at here. This is going to repeat again. So it goes 1 5 1 5 and 1 5. It repeats on forever. So the bar notation shows exactly which digits will repeat. Okay? Let's see if we can answer some of these questions together. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Alright, let's do a quick review. Let's find the median of a number. Well, how do we find the median of a number? First thing you want to do, again, ladies and gentlemen, you are responsible to write down all of these questions. So please make sure you write these questions down and the answers so that we can get the answer down. How do we find the median, or what exactly is the median? The median is the number in the middle. So to do that, we need to label them from least to greatest. So I'm looking here, it looks like 15 is my smallest. Then I have 16. Then I have, what's next? 51. Then I have 65, 74, 80, and then 91. So once you put the numbers from least to greatest, from the smallest to the biggest, now we're just going to start crossing them off from starting on one side. So cross off this one, 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 cross off this one. So that means your median for this question is going to be 65. Okay? Let's try another one. Again, this one is the same thing. We want to find the median. So what we want to do is, first of all, write down the questions. All right. And then we're going to put these numbers from least to greatest. So I have 4, then I have 5, then I have 26, then I have 30, and then I have 52. So now we're just going to start crossing them off, starting on one side. There we go. And it looks like the number in the middle is 26. That is our median. This was just a quick review of some questions. Let's move forward onto the actual lesson. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, a really good idea for us today is to use graph paper, especially for those of us that do or are struggling with division. I'll say this again, please do not use a calculator. So try to draw a calculator here. Do not use a calculator, please. All right, what I want you to do is I want you to really solve this question. So first thing you want to do, you want to write this down, and we are going to divide. So we have our question. This number is going to go on the inside. I'd recommend you write this down just in case you don't know, and then your second number goes on the outside. All right, so we have 30.5 divided by 5. Okay, now ladies and gentlemen, how do we answer this question, or how do we answer exactly with decimals? Well, when the decimal is on the inside like it is now, there's nothing to do. All you gotta do is put it up right here, and let's remind ourselves, how do we divide? Can 5 go into 3? Nope. Can 5 go into 30? Yes, it can. How many times? 6 times. And 6 times 5 will give me 30. We subtract that, we get 0. Then we bring down the 5. Well, ladies and gentlemen, how many times does 5 go into 6? It goes into, 5 goes into 5. 5 goes into 5 one time, and 5 times 1 gives you 5. We subtract that, and we get 0. So our answer for this question is 6.1. Alright, let's try another one, just another quick review. So we have 18.6. Remember, the first one is going to go on the inside, and then this one is going to go on the outside. Alright, so we have 18.6 divided by 6. Let's see, how many times can 6 go into 1? Nope. Can 6 go into 18? Yes, it can. How many times? 3 times. 6 times 3 is 18. If we subtract that, we get 0. Remember to bring your decimal up. Bring down the 6. And how many times can 6 go into 6? It goes into there 1 time. And then 1 times 6 gives you 6. We subtract that, and you get 0. So our answer for this question is 3.1. This was just a quick review of division. Let's see if we can go on to our actual lesson for today. If you guys notice, we do have 26 slides to go through, so this will be a longer lesson. So please just be aware of that. Alright, first things first, I only want you to write this down one time so that you have the rules that you have to follow through. Write the fraction or mixed number as a decimal. Well, how do we do that? Let's remind ourselves, this is the numerator. This is the denominator. What we're going to do is we're going to divide our numerator by our denominator. So it's going to be 5 divided by 9. Again, this one goes on the inside. This one's going to go on the outside. Alright, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is how we turn a fraction into a decimal. So now let's check this out. The hardest part about this entire lesson is knowing our division. Really quick, well, first of all, let's ask ourselves, can 9 go into 5? No, it cannot. So what we can do is we can add a decimal. So we're adding a decimal right at the end, so 5.0. And we're going to add this 0. So my new question is can 9 go into 50? Alright, so if we don't know what I just did, let's try that one more time. That's the question. So we have 5 divided by 9. Alright, so now we're going to ask ourselves, can 9 go into 5? Nope, you cannot fit 9 people into a 5-person car. Alright, comfortably. So what we need to do is we're going to add a decimal right here. We're going to add a 0 because we can add as many zeros as we want. They can go on forever. And now we ask the exact same question again. Can 9 go into 50? And if you know your multiplication tables and division tables, yes it can. 9 can go into 50. How many times can 9 go into 50? It can go into there 5 times. And 9 times 5 is 45. I'm going to subtract that, and let's see, what is 50 minus 45? Well, that's 5. Interesting. Let's try it one more time. Let's see what happens. Can 9 go into 5? Nope. So I can add a 0, and I'm going to bring it down. Can 9 go into 50? Yes, it can. How many times? 5 times. 5 times 9 is 45. Do you guys start seeing the pattern here? 50 minus 45 is 5. The answer is going to be 5 forever. So 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, and it's going to go on forever. But ladies and gentlemen, how did we learn to write a number that continues to repeat? It is going to be 0.5 with a line on top of it, repeating 5. All right, that was our first problem. Just 20, what do we have? 19 more to go. All right, check this out. This time we got a negative. We're going to leave that negative all by itself for right now, and we're just going to try and solve this specific problem. All right, so let's remember, how do we divide? This one goes on the inside. This one's going to go on the outside. So we have 3 divided by 8. Well, my question is, can 8 go into 3? No, it cannot. So I'm going to add a decimal. Don't forget to bring it up right there. And I can add a 0. Can 8 go into 30? Yes, it can. It can go into there 3 times. And 8 times 3 is 24. Now we're going to subtract that. What is 30 minus 24? Well, that's 6. You can add another 0. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I asked you guys if you can work on graph paper. Oops. Let's draw my special line. If you can... Oop, that's not good either. If you can draw on graph paper, it's going to be easy for you because everything's going to be laid out exactly how you're supposed to do everything. How about I do the next question on graph paper? You guys will see what I'm talking about. So I can add another 0 here, bring it down. I'm going to ask the question, can 8 go into 60? Yes, it can. How many times? 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56. And I'm going to subtract that. What is 60 minus 56? That's 4. Can 8 go into 4? Nope. So what I can do is I can add another 0. I'm going to bring it down. And I'm going to see how many times can 8 go into 40. 8 can go into 40 5 times. 8 times 5 is 40. And if I subtract that, I get 0. So for this specific question, my answer, don't forget, it was also negative. My answer is 0.375. It's also negative. Please make sure you circle it at the end so I can see your work. Let's try another one. This time I said I was going to do it on graph paper. So we have negative 3 over 11. Let's check that one out. Negative 3 over 11. So remember, we're going to divide this. This goes on the inside. This goes on the outside. And remember, if you're using graph paper, try to use one number, one box. So we have 3 divided by 11. So let's see. Can 11 go into 3? Nope. So I have to add a decimal. I'm going to add my decimal. Can 11 go into 30? Don't forget to bring this up. Yes, 11 can go into 30. How many times? Well, 2 times. 2 times 11 is 22. I'm going to subtract that. Let's see, what is 30 minus 22? That is going to give you an 8. Now, can 11 go into 8? Nope. So I can add a 0, bring that down. Notice how the graph paper helps me stay organized. How many times can 11 go into 80? Well, I know 11 times 8 is 88. So I just got to go one smaller. What's 11 times 7? So 11 times 7 is 77. And if I subtract that, what do I get? 3. Interesting. Didn't we already try to answer a question with 3? And it's going to continue repeating. Well, let's just try it one more time so we can see what's going on. Bring down this 0. How many times can 11 go into 30? Well, it's going to go into there 2 times. 2 times 11 is 22. And if we subtract that, we get 8. And if we add another 0, bring that down. 80, how many times can 11 go into 80? Well, we know it's going to go into there 7 times. 7 times 11 is 77. If we subtract that, you're going to get 3. And this is going to continue on forever. But ladies and gentlemen, we did learn on how to write a repeating decimal. So to do that, you're going to have 27. And what do you got to put on top of it? You got to put this little line like this. All right, let's try another one. We only got about 17 more to go. Let's do it on graph paper again. This time we have 7 divided by 30. Remember, this one goes on the inside. This one goes on the outside. Here we go. So we have 7 divided by 30. Can 30 go into 7? Nope. So we can add a decimal. Don't forget to bring it up. How many times can 30 fit into 70? Well, that's going to be 2 times. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 3 is 6. So now we're going to subtract that. What is 70 minus 60? That is 10. Can 30 go into 10? Nope. So I can add a 0. I'm going to bring that down. How many times can 30 go into 100? Well, I know it goes in there 3 times. Let's see. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 3 is 9. And if I subtract that, what is 100 minus 90? I'm going to get 10. So I'm going to add another 0. Bring that down. How many times can 30 go into 100? Well, that's 3 times. 3 times 30 is 90, and it's going to continue repeating. So check that out. So if we're looking at this question, the answer for this one, if you notice, it's going to be 3333333. So it's 0.2333, and it goes on forever. So the correct way to write this would be like this. You have 0.23, and then how do we know it's a repeating decimal? You put a line over it. Notice what does the line tell me? The line tells me that the 3 is being repeated, not the 2. Alright, so the answer is 0.23 repeated. Alright, let's try another one. Alright, here's our first mixed number. First step for solving a mixed number problem is you want to turn this into an improper fraction. So what you got to do, you have to multiply your denominator and your numerator, and then add your numerator. Alright, so let's check this out. 12 times 1 is 12, and 12 plus 5 is 17. So I now have 17 over 12. Now, if you're going to think about this, right, if we were taking a test or a quiz and you got 17 questions correct out of 12, that means you got extra credit. That means you got more than 100%. So our answer is going to be more than 100%. Okay. If you can think of it that way, maybe I'll show you guys a different way a little bit later on. But let's see. Now we need to divide. We have 17 divided by 12, and let's see, can 12 go into 17? Yes, it can. It can go into there one time. 1 times 12 is 12, and if I subtract that, let's see, 7 minus 2 is 5. 1 minus 1 is 0. Here's my next question. Can 12 go into 5? Nope. So what am I allowed to do, ladies and gentlemen? I can add a decimal. Please don't forget to bring it up. So we have our decimal. I can add a 0. Now I'm going to bring it down. Now my next question is I'm going to try to figure out how many times 12 can go into 50. Well, if you have one of those multiplication charts, you can use that and figure it out. Or we can try and count by 12. So let's try that. So if you're counting on your fingers, let's count out. You got 12. You got, so let's see. You got 12. And if you add another 12, you got 24. So that's 2. If you add another 12, that's 36. That's 3. And if you add another 12, that's 48. So it looks like it can go into there 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So we're going to put a 4 right here. And 4 times 12 is 48. And now we're going to subtract that. What is 50 minus 48? Well, that's going to give you 2. I know 12 cannot go into 2, so I'm going to add a 0. Can 12 go into 20? Yes, it can. It can go into there one time. 1 times 12 is 12. Now we subtract this. So I know, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be like, oh my gosh, how long does this go? Just please make sure you just show your work so that we know how to answer these questions. So now let's see, can 12 go into 8? No, it cannot. So I'm allowed to add a 0. I'll bring that down. I'm going to ask myself, how many times can 12 go into 80? Well, I already know 12 goes to 48. Let's try another one. If I add another 12, that's 60. And if I add another 12, that's going to be 72. So how many 12s do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I can add a 6 here. And 6 times 12 is 72. And if I subtract 80 minus 72, I get 8. Now what do you guys notice? Did we already have an 8? Yes, we did. So that means I don't even have to stop anymore. go on anymore. I can just stop right here because I know it's going to repeat on forever. So this answer is going to be 1.416, and what number is going to continue to repeat? 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, and so forth, is going to be this one. So it's going to be 1.416 repeated. So the answer for this problem is 1.416 repeated. Alright, let's try another one. Here we go. Now remember, this one is going to be negative, so when you do put it in, please don't forget to put your negative signs. First things first, let's turn this into an improper fraction. So we're going to multiply this, then we're going to add this. So let's see. We have 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So your new problem is 7 over 3. Please don't forget to rewrite your problem. Also negative. Now we're going to divide. This one goes on the inside. This one goes on the outside. So now you have negative 7 divided by 3. I'm going to ask the question, how many times can 3 go into negative 7? Well, I know it goes into there 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. Alright, just to not confuse us with the subtraction sign, we're going to take that away. So 7 minus 6 gives you 1. I know 3 cannot fit into 1. So I'm going to add my 0 here, bring this down. How many times can 3 go into 10? Well, don't forget to bring this up. I know 3 can go into 10 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. And 10 minus 9 is 1. Well, what do I notice already? Didn't I already try to solve for 1? Yes, I did. So that means this question is going to repeat. Just to make sure, I add another 0. Let's bring it down. Can 3 go into 10? Yes, it can. 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. And if I subtract that, you get 1 again. So if you notice, your answer is just going to repeat. Don't forget it was negative. So your answer for this specific question is going to be negative 2.3, and 3 repeats. So I don't have to write 3 forever. I put that sign on top of it, and that means it is going to be 3 repeated. Let's try another one. Let's see what's the next questions. I feel like we've done enough of this, so we're going to skip question 7 and question 8, and we're going to do this one right now. So now it says write the decimal as a fraction or a mixed number in simplest form. Write the decimal as a fraction. So we got a decimal right here. Please make sure you copy this down. Turning decimals into fractions is actually fairly easy. All you need to do is know your place value. So if we know our place value in the wholes, we have ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands and stuff like that. But if we're going in the decimals, those are the ones we need to know. We need to know our place values. Usually we probably won't go past the millions, maybe not even the 10,000s. I'll make sure to go through that just in case. But also we did use one of those coloring sheets that has all of your place values. So if you want to pull that out to make sure you can look at it, this would be a great time to do that. Alright. So ladies and gentlemen, what is my place value for this 7? If you forgot, this is going to be the 10th place. So to write this in a fraction form, you just need to do 7 over 10. And you're done. You just turn this decimal into a fraction. Let's try another one. Let's see. This one's negative, so we know our answer is going to be negative. Let's turn this into a fraction. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what place value is this? This is the tenths, so we know our answer is going to be negative 3 over 10. That's it. Doing it this way, this is the easiest way. Turning decimals into fractions is super easy. Let's try another one. Looks like we got a different one this time. We have a negative answer, but here's my question. What place value is this? If this one right here, this one, we'll do this one in blue. If the one in red is the tenths, then what is the one in blue? This one is going to be the hundredths. And if you figured it out, all you need to do is put 43 over 100. And you're done. That's it. You turn this decimal into a fraction. These ones are a lot easier than the first ones we answered. Alright, this is the first one that we're going to have to actually do some simplification, because remember in 7th grade we always simplify. So remember, this one in blue, this is going to be your 10th place, and then this one in red is going to be your hundredths. If you need to look at that coloring sheet that we did, you can do that. So now we have 52 over 100. But remember, in 7th grade, we always what? Simplify. So you have to simplify. So your question now is there a number that can go into both 52 and 100? Well, I know that both of them are even. So that means I can divide both of them by what? By 2. So let's divide both of them by 2. This would be a good time to know your multiplication and division skills. So we're going to divide by 2. Divide by 2. I'll do this one on the bottom first. I know 100 divided by 2 will give me 50. And if you honestly don't know how to do this division in your head, good thing we've been practicing how to do division. So let's do it over here. Can 2 go into 5? Yes, it can. 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. And we're going to subtract that. 5 minus 4 is 1. Bring down this 2. And now how many times can 2 go into 12? It can go into there 6 times. 6 times 2 is 12. We subtract that and we get 0. So the answer for this one, for 52 divided by 2, that's going to give you 26. Now I'm going to ask the question again. Is there a number that can go into both 26 and 50? Yes, there is. 2 again. Let's divide by 2. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this one by division too. So we'll do 50 divided by 2, just in case some of us don't know how to do it. How many times can 2 go into 5? It can go into there 2 times. That's rainbow, right? So 2 times 2 is 4. And if we subtract that, what is 5 minus 4? That's 1. Bring down your 0. And now how many times can 2 go into 10? That's going to give you 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10. If we subtract that, you get 0. So 50 divided by 2 is 25. And if we don't know what 26 divided by 2 is, please show your work, because I know some of us may not know this. Can 2 go into 2? Yes, it can. 1 time. 2 times 1 is 2. If you subtract that, you get 0. Please bring down the 6. How many times can 2 go into 6? It can go into there 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. Subtract that, and you get 0. So the answer for this problem, notice, ladies and gentlemen, is 13 over 25. Make sure you put this in correctly, especially when it says to simplify. Notice it says simplest form. Okay. Here's another one that we need to turn into a fraction. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys were following through on what I asked you to do. Please make sure you press pause before you answer these questions. So press pause, try to answer it, and see if you got it correct. That is the best way for you guys to learn how to answer these questions. So same steps. All we need to do is solve. So let's see. What's the place value here? That is the, so if this is the tenths, that means this one over here is going to be the hundredths. So we're going to have 1, 2, 5 over 100. All right. So we are not done, because we always have to what, ladies and gentlemen? We have to simplify. So that means we got to find a number that can go into 125 and 100. Let's try to think of the biggest one to save ourselves some time. I know 25 goes into this. So if we count by 25s, we'll see how many times does 25 go into 125. So if you're counting on your fingers, so you have 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. So 125 divided by 25 will give you 5. How many times does 25 go into 100? Well, let's see. So you have 25 plus another 25. So that's 2 already. Plus another 25. Oh, sorry, that was 50. Plus another 25. That's 75. Plus another 25 is 100. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 100 divided by 25 is 4. We're still not done, because now we don't leave them in improper fractions. We got to find out how many times can 4 fit into 5. That's going to be 1. Your denominator stays the same, and what's left over, ladies and gentlemen, that is a 1. So your answer for this problem is 1 1/4. Let's try another one. Looks like we got just a few more. Here we go. We have, let's put this in fraction form. This is our tenths. This is our hundredths. So now we just need to put, we have 207 over 100. Honestly, I can't think of any number that can go into 100 and 207, so we just need to simplify. How many times can 100 go into 200? Well, 100, 200, so that's twice, right? 2 whole times. And then what's left over? You have 7 over 100. So I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but you have 2 and 7 over 100. Take a look at this question. If you're going to solve this, you're going to have another way to do this. You're going to have 1 whole time and 25 over 100, right? Because that's the hundreds place. And then you just need to simplify this. Divide by 25, divide by 25, and you get 1 and 1/4. There are some tricks to this. If you see them, solve them and do them that way. So let's try it the other way. So let's see. We know, oops, what do we have? We know we have 4 holes, so we're now 4. What's our place value right here? That's going to be the hundredths over 18, like this. So all we need to do now, ladies and gentlemen, is we need to simplify. Is there a number that can go into 18 and 100? Yep, that's going to be 2. Hopefully we remembered what is 18 divided by 2. That is going to give you, so 18 divided by 2 is going to give you 9, and 100 divided by 2 is going to give you 50. And there you go. You have answered another problem in a shorter and faster way. So we have 2 ways to solve this, ladies and gentlemen. So you just have to be careful on which way is the best and fastest way. Now, here's the first one that we have that's a little bit different. Let's see. This one is the tenths place. That means this is going to be the hundredths place. And then this one is going to be the what? Thousandths place. THS. Thousands. So that means we're going to have 3125 over 1000. That's one way to do it. Or we know we have 3 holes. You have 3 holes, and it's going to be out of the 1000. 1, 2, like this. 125. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are not done, because I know 5 and 0 can be simplified. Those two go together. So, is there a number that can go into 125 and 1000? I believe so. Let's divide by 25. And let's see what we get. 125 divided by 25 is going to give you 5. And then what is 1000 divided by 25? Well, let's do it over here. If we don't know how to do this, this is a good time to learn. Can 25 go into 1? Nope. Can 25 go into 10? Nope. But can 25 go into 100? Yes, it can. How many times? 4 times. 4 times 25 is 100. We subtract that, we get 0. Bring this down, and now 25 has to go into 00. How many times can you fit 25 into 00? 0 times. So 0 times 25 is 0. And that means our answer for this problem is going to be, let's see, we have 3 and 5 over 40. But we're not done, ladies and gentlemen. I know 5 and 40 can also be divided, right? What number goes into 5 and 40? 5. So let's divide. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 40 divided by 5 is 8. So our answer for this actual question is 3 and 1 over 8. So please be aware of how much work or how much division we actually had to do to solve just one problem. Again, please do not use calculators. You will not receive points for using calculators and not showing your work. It is very important that we know how to do long division, and it's important that we know how to solve these problems because we will be using them for the next one. Now, these are the last questions that we will be going over, and you're going to be like, Mr. Groot, I have no idea how to solve this problem. Well, good thing we know how to compare things. First thing we need to do is we need to figure out if we want to have this into a decimal form or if we want to have this into a fraction form. Well, which one do you want to do? We'll do them both, by the way. So how about we turn that 4 over 10 into a decimal first, which means we need to do some division. We already know there's going to be 2 wholes, and we just need to divide 4 by 10. Can 10 go into 4? Nope. I can add a 0. Don't forget to bring that up. 10 goes into 40 4 times. 10 times 4 is 40. We subtract that and we get 0. So now your answer is negative 2.4000. So if I'm looking at this, I have negative 2.45, and which one's bigger? Please also don't forget, when we're talking about number lines, if this is 0, and then we have 2, the numbers go this way, right? So it'll be let's say this is 2.4. This one would be 2.41, 2.42, 2.43, 2.45. So we would have 1 point over there, and then we would have 1 point over there. Remember, the more left you go, what is it? The smaller it gets. So the actual answer for this problem is going to be like this. This is actually bigger. We might have some trouble on this, but I do want you guys to try your best. That's it. Try your best, and we will do more practice when I get back. Let's do another one. How many more of these do we have? Let's try this one right here. This one's going to be interesting. Okay. So first things first, we want to turn this into a decimal, right? Because we already know that's 3 wholes. So you're going to have negative 3 point something. So let's divide. What's 1 divided by 3? Ladies and gentlemen, can 3 go into 1? No, it cannot. So we can add a 0. Can 3 go into 10? Yes, it can. 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. And if we subtract that, 10 minus 9 is 1. And it looks like it's going to repeat. Does 3 go into 10? Yes, it does. 3 times 3 is 9. We subtract that, you get 1. So it's going to go on forever. So your answer for this problem is 0.333333 repeated. So we have 3.3333 repeated. And then on this side, we just have negative 3.3. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at first you're going to be like, oh, this is easy. They're going to be equal. That's not true, though. Right? Because this one is 3333 repeated, and it goes on forever. Whereas this one, what is the next number after this 3? It's going to be 0. So if we actually compared these, you would have, I'm going to put these all in blue. Or let me do this then. Let me try this, because you guys can see this. So if I do this, I'm going to bring this over here. What do you guys notice? Those are the same. Oops. Those are the same. Those are the same. And then what happens over here? Those are not the same. This is going to be bigger. So the actual answer for this one is, remember, the bigger the number when they're negatives, the smaller it actually is. So that means this is actually going to go this way. Alright. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to try your best on this homework assignment. Please come back and forth to these questions and see if you can answer them. If you struggle on your homework, come back to the video, rewatch the video, and see if you can follow through. The hardest part about this entire lesson is going to be knowing your multiplication and your division problems. Alright, I'll see everybody when I get